In this video we will discuss with you briefly the spiritual worlds. So first of all, when we will speak about space, we should mention that there is a spiritual space and material. However, creation belongs only to material world, because spiritual world is anadim and anantam. Anantam means without end, and anadim means without beginning. So whatever happens in creation, it happens only as a manifestation of the material world. Here I love these pictures very much. However, the resolution of our video will not permit to show this fully. However, one can see here how it is described. Here is a spiritual world, if we can divide it somehow like this, and here is a material world. And this also, you can find these pictures in the internet and download for yourself and see this more precisely. However, here is the higher abode of Krishna, which is Goloka Vrindavana, which consists of three divisions. It is Mathura, Dwaraka, and Gokula. We will discuss it a little bit later. Further on, there are Vaikuntha planets, which is also spiritual world, and they are innumerable Vaikunthas planets. Later on, all the spiritual world is filled with the Brahmajyoti. Brahmajyoti is a spiritual light from body of the Supreme Lord, which illuminates the whole spiritual world. And material universe is a small part in the spiritual sky, and it takes only 1/4 part of the spiritual sky, and it is manifested sometimes, and sometimes comes to unmanifested state. So let's start with a spiritual world description. Spiritual world in Sanskrit also called Tripada Vibhuti. Why? Because Tripada means 3/3. 3/3 of the sky. Actually, and material world is Ekapada Vibhuti. And we can see that material world is not eternal. Material world comes into being and comes into unmanifested state of life. So why we cannot actually perceive the spiritual planets? First of all, because they belong to the higher dimension. You cannot perceive the spiritual world by your material senses. It is impossible. The other reason, because material universe has 7 covers, which are very, very thick. Actually, at the end of these classes, I will give these cosmic numbers, and they're really cosmic numbers, and you will see how thick they are. And no one flying object from the material world can reach them, because in order to reach spiritual world, or at least take a look, you have to go beyond the 7 covers, and those 7 covers consist of Mahatattva and Ahankara, and it is almost impossible to do by mechanistic exercises. This we will discuss later. So, both spiritual and material world are manifestation of the same energy of Lord. However, not the same, but of the energy of Lord. The manifestation of the spiritual world is his higher potency, and manifestation of the material world is his lower energy. And the whole material world will be operated by his lower energy. The spiritual world is situated in the Brahmajyoti. the spiritual planets are floating in Brahmajyoti, and everything in the spiritual world is alive. The stones, the earth, the Brahmajyoti itself consists of millions and myriads of the spiritual souls in inactive state. So the part of Brahmajyoti actually covers the 1/4 of the whole universe. And whenever the material universe is up to the next stage of come into manifestation, the Mahavishnu, who lies in the Karana ocean, the ocean of the cause and consequences, he looks at this small Pradhana. Pradhana is an inactive state of Mahatattva, material elements, and thus by looking at this, Mahavishnu impregnates this material universe with his glance. We will discuss this later in details. However, let's see once again about spiritual worlds. So, spiritual world, as I said, consists of the few levels if we actually can divide like this. I would like to mention also that it is a very high topic to discuss, and we can have a glimpse of information based on the Puranas, and we will have respect whatever we have this, but still do not consider that with these few slides and a few books you can really learn this. Actually, Krishna says that by spiritual practice one can really know his abode and he himself. We can re-establish the relationship with the Supreme, and we can travel to the spiritual planets, but it is not by material activities what we can do. And unfortunately what we are doing with you now, it is a part of jnana, and jnana is a part of material knowledge. So, okay, this is a remark. Okay, once again, the spiritual planets, they consist of not only spiritual planets, but in other words, Devi Dhama, what we see here, Devi Dhama. Devi Dhama is our world, our material world. This is it, Devi Dhama. Why Devi? Devi in Sanskrit means demigod. And our material world is called Devi Dhama, because in a upper part of our material universe, here somewhere, all demigods who control our lives and senses, they live there in material universe. So demigods live with us here in material universe. The other part of Devi Dhama and the paradise planets where the demigods live could be achieved by karma yoga. As you remember, we spoke about karma yoga in the previous video. It is the yoga where you thoroughly follow the scriptural injunctions, but you dedicate your result to the Supreme Lord, and by following properly, maybe for few lives or even in this life if possible, you can achieve some stage, and in the next life you can go to enjoy to the spiritual worlds, to the demigods paradise worlds, but it is gonna be within the material universe. So this is like traveling within the same country. However, if you want to go beyond the material universe, you have to do some spiritual practice. And here, these first three, they belong to the spiritual world. Let's see. It is said that here, whenever you go beyond the shelves of the material universe, egg of the material universe, you will achieve the Mahesha Dhama, where the Lord Shiva lives. It is Mahesha Dhama. And by Jnani Yogi, this place is achievable. The other let's say level, I wouldn't say level, but the other part called Haridhama, where the Vaikuntha lokas are situated, and the other part which belongs to Krishna is a Goloka Dhama. Okay, once again, Devi Dhama is our material world, and by following Vedic injunctions, we can go up to the paradise planets, but within the material world. It is not really liberation. But if we want to achieve spiritual abode, we have to follow some spiritual practice. Thus, we will be able to achieve by Jnana Yoga. We will achieve Mahesha Dhama, which is Shiva's abode, or Vaikuntha planets and Goloka planets, which are Krishna's abode and Vishnu's. It is Goloka Dhama and Haridhama. Okay, let's see what is Vaikuntha. What are the Vaikunthas? So Vaikunthas, here we can see them. If we will consider that the wheel of the lotus is a Goloka, all the other part of the material spiritual sky are the Vaikunthas. And what is the difference? Difference between Vaikunthas and Goloka is about the taste of relationship. In Vaikuntha planets, one lives in the Aishwarya Rasa. What does it mean, Aishwarya Rasa? It is when you are related to a Supreme God by the relationship of his being his dasa, servant, and accepting him as your master, and it is his majesty. The Aishwarya Rasa, Aishwarya literally means from Sanskrit majesty, or something very supreme wealth, supreme beauty, etc. So those are the perfect relationship of servant and master. And the spiritual soul who live in Vaikuntha planets, they have the same body as Vishnu has, with the four arms, if you can see on this picture. And of course, as soon as you go beyond the material world, 7 shelves of the material universe, you get rid of all material sufferings. There is no sufferings, material sufferings. But still, if you want to go even beyond the rasa of majesty and become Krishna's friend or Krishna's beloved, you have to go to Goloka. Let's see here. Goloka consists of three levels, let's say. And those levels are also divided because of rasa. Dvaraka, they are all gonna be all these 3 levels gonna belong to those devotees who develop one of the very intimate rasas with Krishna, especially Madhurya and parential love, Vatsalya. And Sakya, which is friendship. So all these 3, this is Madhurya rasa. Madhurya means accept God as your personal, intimate friend and beloved. So Dvaraka, it is where Krishna resides with his wives. But Mathura and Gokula especially, it is a very sweet rasa, and there Krishna resides with his most supreme and beloved girlfriend Radharani, and this is the sweetest rasa. To enter into Gokula, you have to have an extremely high spiritual qualification. Here on this picture we can see once again in this part, the whorl of the lotus, and the very center of this lotus is the sweetest rasa lila, which is the sweetest pastime of Krishna. However, on the petals of this lotus are the other private rasas with Krishna, and this lotus is situated at the heart of Vaikuntha lokas. So, a little bit more of Sanskrit terms. Paravyoma, or spiritual sky. From Sanskrit, it is translated Vyoma is the sky and Para is the spiritual. It is once again the effulgence of the body of Krishna, and it is said that in the spiritual world there is no need of the artificial electricity. For example, in material world we are all surviving just because of the light of sun. Actually, in the spiritual world there is no need of sun, because Krishna himself has millions of suns. Goloka once again is on the whisk of a lotus, and Gokula is even more in the center, and it is all unmanifested for the other. And this his pastimes in Goloka and Gokula are also unachievable for those who is in Aishwarya rasa in Vaikuntha lokas, because Aishwarya rasa of relationship between master and the servant, is considered to be the first step of those sweet relationship. But the Madhurya rasa includes all the other previous relationship. Actually, the 5 main rasas are the Shanti rasa, for example, between Krishna and the cows, and the bees which are flying around him, and the flowers, they are in Shanti rasa. However, the Dasya rasa is a person, the personal servants of Krishna are in the Dasya rasa. The other rasa is a Sakhya rasa, is a friendship. The other rasa is a Vatsalya rasa, is a parental love. And Madhurya rasa is his relationship with his gopis, with his girlfriends, and with his Radharani. This is Madhurya rasa, and Madhurya rasa includes all the other 5 rasas. That's why it is supreme rasa. So, once again, it is unlimited number of Vaikuntha lokas all around, and the spiritual sky could be divided in 2 parts according to the state of liberation of which that soul takes, state of moksha, of liberation. First of all, in Srimad Bhagavatam we can find 5 types of liberation, and here we will see that unlimited and all-pervading spiritual radiance, which is Brahmajyoti, is suitable for Sayuja liberation by merging with the Supreme. And countless spiritual planets are acceptable for the kind of moksha where soul can keep individual consciousness, and serve Supreme according to his own nature, his svabhava, and his own desire for particular rasa. This is the most obvious difference between those planets and between Brahmajyoti and planets. So once again, I will not read it all and discuss. You can pause and read it, but once again, what we can see here, the very center of the spiritual sky is Krishna's abode, Goloka Vrindavana, and the heart of this Goloka Vrindavana is Gokula, where he has his relationship with Radharani. All the other part of the spiritual sky are Vaikuntha lokas. and everything in the spiritual sky is situated in Brahmajyoti, the effulgence of the Krishna's body. And just small part somewhere here is covered by material Mahatattva. And whenever creation is up to be manifested, Mahavishnu comes to the Karana ocean, the ocean of the cause and consequence, and he looks at this small part of Mahatattva, and the material creation comes into being. So this is the second part, the spiritual worlds.